Hi there, welcome back. Welcome to the third and final video of this lesson. We're going to call it Process of Technical Writing. It's important to have a process. This is the take-home message of this particular lesson, is that writing is never the first step and it's never the last step. You always need to have like a multi-step process by which you go about your technical writing. Before we get started, I want to tell you it's really funny. Like a funny moment in class several semesters ago. We were all sharing what our process is, because most people have one. And some people are like, oh, I can't really write anything of any length without an outline. Other people are like, I have to write it the whole way through. Like I can't write in chunks. And then other people are like, oh, I have to sort of draw it out and then like lump like things and draw lines and whatever works for you. It doesn't matter to me. And then this one person said, I don't really have a process. I just write it and turn it in. And I was like, you don't even like proofread it? And she's like, nope. And I said, well, you're probably going to fail. And everybody laughed really hard. And she laughed really hard. And then she said, I'm just being honest. And I was like, I'm being honest too. You're probably going to fail. Anyway, so, this is my joke here, but it's important to have a writing process. Let me tell you why. Let me give you an example. So say you're writing your resume, which will in fact be the first major assignment that you do in this course. And you sit down in class and you try to write everything out from memory. And it's an okay resume, like it's good, but it would be so much better if you went about it in a more strategic fashion. So you thought first, what is the employer looking for? Did I read the position description? Do I understand, can I read between the lines and see where they're going with this position? And do I highlight those kinds of things in my resume? Did I go back through, like if I were in 4-H or FFA, did I go back through my old record books and pull out awards that I forgot that I won, or internships that I did for 2 weeks in the spring of 2012, all these things that you may have forgotten and wouldn't come to you on first blush. If you go about it in a systemic way, you can end up with a much stronger document. And that's true not just of, your resume and cover letter, but the same thing with, press releases or blog entries, or especially your white paper questionnaires. If you go about it in a methodical fashion, you'll end up with a better document. So we're going to talk about technical writing as a process in the next lesson at length, but just very briefly, here's a kind of an easy one for you. Define the project, retrieve, analyze, and synthesize information. Design the project, write, edit, revise, and deliver. And you notice that write is not the first step, also not the last step. So we're going to skip through these pretty quickly because one, you can go back and read them on your own, and two, we're going to be going over this at great length at the next one. But let's think about this first. So define the project. Who will read the document? You write differently for different people. And so, if it's executives, if it's fellow students, farmers or the general public, clients, operators, all these people have different knowledge levels, different backgrounds. They will understand jargon, or maybe they won't. And you need to think, who am I writing for and how do I need to write to them? Because if the more specific you do it to your audience, the more successful you will be. What is my overall style? Is it informational? Is it persuasive? Do I intend to motivate? I don't think any of you are going to be doing any motivational writing in this course, but the first two for sure. And then what is the final document going to look like? Is it going to be printed? Is it going to be electronic? Is it going to be online? Is it going to be a CD? That shows you how this PowerPoint is. None of you will be making CDs. Anyway, so because each format that you could finish the document in, people, when they read it, they expect certain things for different formats, and you need to meet their expectations. Otherwise, they'll think, oh, you did it wrong. So you look at we're going to look at 17 different formats, everything from letters to memos to press releases and so on and so forth in this course. And each of those has its own sort of history and tradition behind how it's laid out, how the information is organized, and you got to do it right. Otherwise, people deduct IQ points if you do it wrong. So. Anyhow, we want to gather, analyze, and then synthesize information. I struggle to pronounce synthesize. I don't know why. And when you think about it this way, most of the writing that you've done in academia, that you've done in your classes, you've usually had all of the information, like you've gotten it in lessons, through your readings, and when it came time to sit down to write, your essay or your narrative or your story or whatever, all the information was in your head and you just sort of needed to process it. And that's what those lessons are for. Like, we give you writing assignments so that you have to physically think through it and you learn. With technical writing, you may not have all the information in your head, and so you'll need to go out and get it. And so you can get it from technical experts, documentation. You can do an internet search. Let's be honest, that's what most of you are going to do. And last resort, you can go to the library. I'm 32 years old. I went to the library for the first time last semester, and I'm in a PhD program. Anyhow, but I grew up in the digital age, and you didn't have to physically go to the library. It's mainly coffee shops anyway. Design your project and write. Some tools that are available to you. You can have the APA style manual. I'm going to give you actually two things. I'm going to give you first the Adams Minimalist Guide to Grammar, Usage, and Style. I'm going to give that to you in class, a printed version, and that is my way of not feeling guilty for deducting points when you screw up on there, and there. I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to expect you to read it and check it before you turn things in. I'm also going to give you later in the semester a scaled back version of the APA style manual, so there's no need to buy that. But also, there's just instructions. So for example, if you're filling out the grant application, which is something we'll do later in the semester, all grant applications come with usually a 60-page instructions manual, and you got to read that. You don't have to, but later in life, if you're doing grants, you'll have to read it. And then of course, Microsoft programs, because everybody loves Microsoft Word. So we're going to edit, revise the document. This is, another step, the one that comes after writing. And we're going to talk more about this whenever we do peer review, and there's a lesson on peer review later in the semester. But we're looking for accuracy and completion. We're looking for clarity. Does it make sense on the first pass? Usefulness. Does it achieve the objectives that we set out to achieve? Is it organized in the proper way? Does it have the proper style? Is the format correct? And again, the only reason that the format ever matters in a letter or a memo or whatnot is that if you turn in a memo or write a memo to somebody and the format is wrong, they automatically deduct credibility from you because you don't know how to format a memo. And finally, grammar, spelling, and punctuation. And then you deliver the project, and that's pretty much what happens there. Here's an easy way to remember all of this that I just gave you, and this is called FAT-P, and we will be referring to FAT-P every week of the semester. FAT-P sounds like a terrible rapper from the 90s. None of you were alive in the 90s. Anyway, format, audience, topic, and purpose. So again, what is the format that I'm writing in? Who is my audience? What topic am I writing about? Sometimes you don't know. You have to sit and think for a minute. What is my topic here? I was just had a general notion of what I wanted to write about, but it'll always be more focused and better if you are able to articulate what my topic is. And then what is your purpose? Do you want to inform them? Do you want to persuade them? Do you want them to, call them to action, to do something, or to understand something? And if you can think all this through, then you'll have a better document. So here's some examples, this one and this one. And what I'd like for you to do for your little assignment for this week, your sort of reading comprehension check, whatever assignment, is just read these examples. You have this one here, also this one. You can pause the video, or I'm going to upload the PowerPoint so you can have it up. And I want you to just read through these, real simple, read through these, and then pick out what the format, audience, topic, and purpose is. And then fill that out and complete it online on Scholar, and then I'll know that you watched the video. All right. So looking forward to meeting everybody on Thursday. So just have this done by the time you come in on Thursday, or actually, before Tuesday, but have it ready to go in your mind on Thursday. And then we'll be doing introductions and get acquainted, and we'll get the semester started. All right, thanks. If you have any questions, you can always email me, and looking forward to seeing you. Thanks. Bye.